If there's one thing that can be said about this sport, expect the unexpected. And there is no ever truer than at this track we have today, the Monaco Grand Prix. This is round 13 of the Xbox F1 Rivals Championship. And I am Lightshot16, yes, the former driver who has retired only for this season, but I am now officially taking commentary duty. And sadly, I'm afraid Big Will cannot be here tonight, so I will be your sole commentator unless someone does choose to jump in with me, but I'm going to leave the party open for that, for them to choose. But anyway, let's focus on the race we have tonight. We are, as I said, at Monaco, and not just any old Monaco. We are racing Monaco under lights. That's right, night race Monaco, baby. But Monaco is still as deadly as ever. 19 corners, almost no places for overtaking. It can be done, but it is very, very difficult. So qualifying is going to be where it's really made or lost in this race. And we have about 4 or 5 minutes before the lobby gets underway, but we will go to the main screen now. So yes, as I said, I was racing in this championship. I actually had a win even. I won Canada. One of my favourite races I've ever done, to be brutally honest. But sadly, I came to a decision that I just felt I needed to get away from the game for a while. It wasn't just here. I was racing in another league. I decided, I think I need a break. And I decided, rather than just go away from it all completely, I thought, why don't I do what I've been doing on Saturdays, but do it on Fridays as well, and Sundays if they'll have me. And that is sit in the commentary seat. And I'm very excited to be able to call the last 8 races of the season. Obviously, we're starting at Monaco here. We have Japan coming up after that, then China, Spain, I believe, after that, Mexico, Australia, I believe, is after that, then Italy, then Abu Dhabi, and then Singapore. So we've got a decent 8 races still to play. And yeah, I'm honestly ecstatic that I can still be a part of the championship in one way or another. I am sad that I am leaving the racing, but I felt it was the right decision. I'll come back next season, hopefully a bit stronger, hopefully with my mind in a better place than it has been. And yeah, enough of my sob stories. Let's focus on what's actually going to be happening tonight. We have 16 drivers already in the lobby, which is great to see. So let's go through who we have on the teams. We have both Mercedes drivers here, Stracker R11 and Matt 45. Let's just go in. I'm going to have a look at the standings while we have a chance. While we have the time. They're very close, actually. Well, I say close. Matt 45's on 42 points. Stracker's in 20 on 23, sitting 11th and 13th on the table. So quite close in position, but Matt 45 has definitely been the more consistent point score of the Mercedes duo. Ferrari, we only have BXTN 90 at the moment. Nuthead might join in a bit. I'm not sure. In fact, he is already in. Nuthead is in, so he just needs to take his Ferrari seat. Nuthead's definitely been the stronger driver, although in fairness to BX, he has been having wheel issues, which has meant he hasn't been able to race as many of the races as he would have liked. He's practically missed half the season so far, so I don't think it's fair really to compare BX and Nuthead. But Nuthead's been doing a solid job, sitting on 7th place on 75 points. In a tight battle with SF Pred and Niels, who are both on 81 points ahead of him. Speaking of Niels, my former team, Red Bull, and replacing me in the Red Bull team is Scott Metroid. A very worthy replacement, I feel. He's a solid driver on his day. He's currently sitting 15th in the table on 15 points, but he's in a very tight battle with the likes of BX, Gubinator, Fury, Stracker, aforementioned. So I'm going to be interested to see what Scott does in the Red Bull. As for Niels, he's been really, really strong this year. He's had a race win at USA. Admittedly, it was only because of what happened with Jolly's qualifying incident that he got the win, but nevertheless, still a race winner this year, and he's in the top 5. But he's got Pred literally snapping at his heels, so that'll be an interesting fight. Currently, the only Renault driver is the 6.5. I don't know if Pred is going to be racing today or not. We shall see. 6.5's been a bit up and down. Hasn't always turned out every race. Only sitting on 8 points at the moment. He's 19th of the 24 drivers that have competed so far. Although one of them is making his F1 debut, well, not say debut, but debut of the season, I should say. In the Rich Energy Haas F1 team, we have my former teammate, WS Cam, who had to stick with the same car. He's been having a difficult season, Cam. He's only on 30 points. He had nearly 4 times that amount this time last season. So he's been having a difficult time. Squidgy Genie, on the other hand, has not been having the greatest of times either. He's definitely got the pace, but his consistency has been a bit on and off, and he's currently sitting on 10 points in 18th place. The only McLaren driver on the field at the moment is Jolly, who is one of the championship contenders. There's no doubt about it. Currently sitting second. Sadly, he had an unfortunate retirement last time out due to an incident with Pez. I'm not going to comment on exactly who was at fault, because best I don't. But he's still within a shout of the championship. He is 24 points off of Pez, so a race win today with Pez not finishing would evaporate that gap almost, well, into Jolly's favour, let's put it that way. Then we have the Racing Point duo of Optic and Fury. Fairly solid duo. Optic's been scoring good, consistent points on 56 points. Currently 8th in the standing, so it's one of his best season performances so far, with Fury 17th on 11 points. Alpha Mad Racing is Pez and Chris. Pez, obviously, the current reigning champion and the current championship leader, 190 points. Chris has been doing a fantastic job as well, 141 points. I'm having to speed up because we're about to start the session. I'm not going to get through every driver, so never mind. But I will mention Bennett, who has moved up graciously from F2, and I didn't. So he will be occupying the Williams seat that Scott's Metroid has foregone by moving to Red Bull. So we'll be interested to see what Bennett can do on his return to F1. He has been in F1 before, but this is his return to the F1 grid after basically dropping down, not quite performing. I think it was a couple of seasons ago he's in F1, but he's been in F2, he's been fast and consistent, and he's made the decision to come up to F1. So we will see how he does in the Williams. But we are just about to get qualifying underway. So hello, I can see BX is in the chat. I see Gunhead is watching as well. He's not in the chat yet, but yeah. So, as I said, we are racing Monaco under the darkness of night tonight. So, the qualifying session will begin. We have 17 drivers. So it's a very healthy grid today. Very, very healthy grid. Only one Williams, one Renault, and one McLaren missing. Otherwise, we've got all the teams with 2 drivers, which is good to see. Yo, what's up, Gunhead? Nice to see you, man. Okay. If there is any audio issues, if I'm too quiet or if the game is back, speaking of which, let me just turn the audio settings down a couple tads so that my voice should be a bit clearer. That should be fine. So, the cars are now just starting to get out on track. I believe it's a Racing Point leading way. It's that of SRT Fury 67. We'll just go with Fury though. He will be the first car on track. He's on a set of the soft compound tyres. In fact, let's turn that little detail onto the fitted tyres and get rid of that. Perfect. So, and actually no, there's one thing else we should put on, the lap data, just for qualifying. No. So yes, it is at night time. Yes, Tar. It's only a bit sort of light at the moment, but I think it is going to get darker for the race. Hopefully, it's probably just sort of like at the sort of like the evening time, and by race time it should be under the full darkness. Just going to quietly spectate today. That's absolutely fine. Gunhead, it's still nice to have you on board, one way or the other. So everyone's coming out on track. There's a few different tyre strategies going on at the moment. Stracker's on mediums, Chris is on mediums, Cam's on mediums, and Neil's on mediums. Otherwise, I think everyone else has gone out on the soft tyres, except for BX Bennett and Squidgy, who have yet to go out. So, Fury is coming round the final corner. There's a yellow flag set to 3. I think there may be just be some bunching up going on. Yes, I believe there is, so nothing to worry about there. So, Fury sets off on his way. He's got the Red Bull, I believe that's Niels behind him. My teammate this season. As I said, he's been doing a fantastic job, and I am going to be as unbiased as I can, but I have to be honest, I am still supporting Red Bull. I'm still hoping that they do a good job. I'm hoping Scott's Metroid really steps up. We've got another yellow flag in Sector 3. I think that's just a Renault going very slowly. I am going to remain as unbiased as I can, though. But, yeah, go Red. Let's hope. I am secretly hoping Red Bull do well, because I'm still very much supporting them. But let's focus on Fury. Oh, I thought he tapped the wall there, but he might have just got away with that. He must have been the very nearest of misses. So as he comes around the swimming pool area, now down towards Raskas. Taking that nice and smoothly by the look of it, and now through the final corner onto the straight. I mean, it's not really a straight, but it's the closest thing there is to a straight on this track. So what's Fury's opening gap? It's a 110.3, but a 109.8 by Niels on the medium tyre. That's very quickly eclipsed it, and wow, Pez on the softs has only gone a 109.9. 110.7 for Chris on the medium. That's a very impressive lap time by Niels on the medium tyres. 109.4 for Jolly on the softs, so he takes first. Binary 109.9 on the softs. Cam 110.6. Where on earth has Niels found that kind of pace on medium tyres? He's mixing it up with the top guys on what's supposed to be a slower tyre. That's pretty impressive. We got a 110.9 for Strack on the mediums, 111.9 for Scott, but I presume there may have been a mistake in that lap. I think he is pushing on this lap, is he? Yes, he is. What about Matt 45 just coming across the finish line now? 112.6 for Matt on the medium, so... Ooh, and he very nearly gets it wrong at Sandavot. Keep it out of the wall, son. Okay. So who else is on a lap time? I think Pez just... No, that's Chris just coming around the final corner. I take it back. What's Chris doing now? As he comes around the corner, he does a 110.5. I think he did go a little bit quicker, but not by enough to improve. I think Jolly's coming in. What about BX? I think that's Nuthead just coming to start a flying lap, but BX is just coming around to finish the lap. The Ferraris are on their laps, so let's see where BX puts himself on amongst the pigeons. Only a 111.7, not a particularly fast lap time. There must have been a mistake somewhere in there from BX, because I'm sure he can go a bit quicker than that. Now, what about Matt? Is he pushing again? I think he is. He's about 6 tenths off the pace currently. Just coming through the chicane towards Raskas. As he goes around. Nice and slow. Nope, he's aborted the lap. He is coming into the pits. So never mind for that. We'll go on board with Nuthead instead, because I'm sure he is pushing on a lap. So we'll stay on board with the Ferrari driver. As I said, he's sort of mixing it with the top guys. You know, the likes of Pred and Niels. So in that fight for 5th place. So let's see what he can do this weekend in his beautiful yellow and white helmet that actually suits the Ferrari quite well, actually. I suppose the shell... Oh, and Nuthead's decided to abort his lap and go straight back into the pit, so clearly not happy with something. As does BX coming to the lap. I think Optic is... Is that Optic? Yes, it is. So I think he'll be the next one to, well, start a lap, because I don't think anyone else is actually on a lap yet. They're all on out laps at the moment, for those who's out on track. So we'll stay on board. I think that's Fury getting out of the way in Sector 2, so no need to flick over. Always good to watch my streams. Thank you very much, Gunhead. That means a lot that you feel that way. I do appreciate any support I can get. As I said, though, it usually would be Will streaming tonight through the F1 Rivals page itself, but Will sadly couldn't be here due to some personal matters, let's just put it that way. So I'm basically taking over for the night and doing it through my own page, but I've got the F1 Rivals logo, so I think we're good. Okay, so Optic is just coming to the dreaded slow chicane. And he's taking it very nicely, has to be said. And now coming towards, through the swimming pool. And then through the second chicane. Now towards Raskas. Pretty solid. Now at this roulette wheel known as Monaco, it could all be about timing. Now what does Optic do? Not a bad lap at all. 110.3. It's put himself 5th place. Currently just ahead of Fury. I think his fastest time was on the softs as well. It was. So he's actually gone out in the mediums now. Can he go faster than a 110.3 on those tyres? That's the question. Yellow flag sector 2. I think that might just be more people getting out of the way. Indeed it is. I don't see any actual yellow areas. So what about Binary? No, that's not. That's Progeny. He's just gone 109.4. That's a very good lap time by Progeny. He does have some flashes of brilliance, especially when it comes to qualifying. So it'll be interesting to see if he can match Binary today. He's currently half a second faster, but I think Binary's got a little bit more left to show. Is that Cam coming around? No, that's Squidgy just going onto a lap. So I think Binary's going to be the next one, as he's just coming through this chicane. Thank you very much for the follow, Captain Carroll. It's great to have you on board with us. Yeah, aye, Captain. Meanwhile, one of the proverbial captains of XFR comes across the line. Does not improve, so must have made a mistake, and maybe is pushing on this lap instead. I think Matt 45. No, that's Stracker going on to a lap. This is Matt 45 going through the chicane. Fury, I don't think. No, he's coming into the pits. What about 6.5? He's improved to a 110.1. That's not a bad lap time by the Renault driver. Is he coming into the pits? Yes, he is. I think Progeny is going to follow him, as is Matt 45. And what about the Ferrari? Yes, and the Alfa Romeo behind, which I believe was Chris and BX. Nope, BX is just going out, so that was Nuthead. But Jolly's on an out lap. Squidgy is just coming around Raskas. So let's see what the squidgiest of all genies can do. Ooh! Very nearly turned in wrong there, but got away with it. He's on a very slow lap time, as we said. 120.9. That can't be a representative time at all. Meanwhile, Binary has improved. 109.6. Still slower than his teammate by about 1.5 tenths, roughly. And Stracker's just coming across the line as well. What can Stracker do? Can he go faster? Yes, he can. 110.0. He moves himself up to 6th position. I think this could very well all be about timing. Towards the end, whoever's on the grippiest part of track at the right time is going to get a good result here, because the times look very, very close. There's a second separating first from, well, just over a second first from 10th. And I think there's some drivers who haven't yet shown their best. So I'm expecting some very, very close times here tonight. Roland is in F2, not F1, I'm afraid, Carol. So I'm afraid you will not see him here. F2 would normally be streamed by Leclerc, but unfortunately I don't think he's around today either. So I'm afraid I think I'm the only one that's on commentary duty tonight. So yeah, sadly no Roland in this race, I'm afraid. I apologise. Meanwhile, Niels is just starting a lap. Stracker, I think, will be coming into the pits, I presume. The racing points are on out laps, as is Reckless Pez behind. Is there anyone on a lap? I think Niels and BX are both on lap times. Yes, they are. So we'll stay on board with the person. We'll stay on board with the man who has taken my racing seat at Red Bull, Scott's Metroid. As he comes to this heavy braking, you've got to get the braking absolutely right and make sure not to cut that chicane. It's very easy to do, and you will get penalised for it if you do. Meanwhile, oh yeah, I don't think his Xbox Rick's quite gone yet, but yeah, even if he is racing, he won't be in this league, I'm afraid. So Scott's Metroid, he's on a 1:11.9. Can he improve on that time? He can, but he's still only 13th on a 111.3. What about Nuthead starting a flying lap, so never mind with him. What about Pez? He is in the tunnel. So I think we'll actually go on board with the 2 racing points, because I think they're going to be the next up. So it's Fury first. Just coming through the swimming pool area. Ooh, did he cut that? No. No red warnings on the map. So it looks like he got away with that. As he comes around the final corner, he's currently I mean, the 2 racing points are separated by 2 thousandths of a second, but Fury has changed that. He's gone up to 5th place, 109.6, so he has improved. What about Optic? 109.9, so it's now in Fury's favour, and by almost 3/10. So good lap by Fury. He's distanced himself from his teammate. Meanwhile, Cam has got himself into the mix as well. He's just set a 110 flat to move himself into 8th. And is this Bull Progeny about to set an lap time? He is. Oh my god, look at that for a lap time. 108.9. The first man to dip into the 108s. So that's a very, very impressive lap time by Progeny. Glad I just caught that one. And what about Pez? Does he have any response? He's on a 109.2, so he has actually improved. What about Chris? He doesn't improve from his 110.2. This is, it has to be said, this is very much a wheel track. Those of them that are on pads are going to have a bit of a hard time here, because there's some definitely some issues for the pad drivers on this circuit because of how narrow and tight it is. 6.5 has improved to a 109.9, so he's got himself into the top 10. So just over 4 minutes to go. I presume there's going to be one last run from everyone right towards the end. But we shall see. Now Sam's opted to go again. He saved up his ERS and is going for another run. That might explain why it was a bit slower than Fury. Perhaps he's had a bit more fuel on board. Ugh. Apologies for my slowing the English language. But Chris is just coming in. Struggling for pace, it seems, and Chris obviously, was the race winner of France last week out. The tickets have since played havoc with that, and very much not to Chris's liking, it has to be said. Probably not going to say too much on that, because I do have my opinions on the situation, but I do feel bad for Chris losing the race win because of what happened, and that's all I'll say. Meanwhile, BX has just started a lap. Squidgy's on one as well. We'll stay on board with BX for the moment as he's coming up the hill towards Casino. Looks fairly solid as he goes around there. Ooh. And yet always avoid that little bump. He's got his teammate behind him. I presume they might... Well, I don't know how much towing can be done on Monaco, but I suppose there's some way of doing it. I wonder if there is any teamwork going on between BX and Nuthead. I feel like they would do it if they could. 0.8 cheese. I know. That is a very, very fast lap time, Phantom Wizard. I'll be interested to see if anyone can match that. Progeny is definitely a very strong qualifier, and here, strong qualifying is about as important as anything. So... as BX comes round the final corner. Squidgy Genie did improve. He went back into the pit. So we'll stay on board with BX. He comes around the final corner. DRS flap open. What time does he set? It's a 110.4. He puts him 12th, just behind Chris. So just goes to show you, we were looking at fairly decent times in the 110s. Now all of a sudden, the 110s are only giving you outside the top 10s. With the exception of Cam and Strack, who are just on the cusp of 109s. They are both out there again on their final laps. But these are going to be the final laps by the look of things. They might have left themselves enough fuel to go for a second run if needed. But Binary is out there. I think everyone bar Squidgy and Bennett is out there. Bennett hasn't set a lap time yet. Now is this... I wonder if this might be a bit of strategical call from Bennett not to set a lap time, which I'm pretty sure isn't allowed. But the less I say on that one, the better. I will just... But it should be noted that Jolly was disqualified from or at least penalised from a Grand Prix because he didn't set a lap time in qualifying when he very well could have. So if Bennett's doing the same thing, I could see a penalty coming his way. I certainly hope that's not the case. Meanwhile, Nuthead, 109.1. He's put himself second place. Good lap time by Nuthead. He's got himself right up there. Meanwhile, the racing points are on. Well, I thought Nuthead was on a loud lap, so I better stay on board just in case they aren't. But I think they are just starting their first flying laps. Yes, they are. Still both in fairly decent sequence with each other. Meanwhile, Cam has aborted his run, so he's not going any faster. Binary, though, is on a lap time, but I think he backed out of it. He did. He's given himself another run, and he's got time to do it. And there was still 13 seconds to go, but these are going to be the final run. Squidgy Genie's left it right to the last as well. Scott's Metroid is just coming around the final corner. Can he improve? He does, but only up to 14th. Meanwhile, Niels has improved to a 109.0. He's put himself second place, only 1/10 off of Progeny. But we've still got some more drivers going. Jolly's just coming round. What can Jolly do? He can't improve. 109.4 only. Pez can't improve either. He's only 4th place. We've got some new faces up the top by the looks of it then. The two championship leaders, Pez and Jolly, only 4th and 5th at the moment. And that could still change. But it's not going to change from Fury. He's hit the barriers very similar to where Jensen Button lost it in 2004, 3? One of the years. I can't remember exactly which year it was. But he's done that. But what about his teammate Optic? He's still going. Coming around the final corner. DRS flap open. What can he improve on his 109.9? No, he can't. Yes, he can. I take it back. He has 109.7. Got himself 8. Chris has improved 109.8. Who else is on a lap time? Binary, I think, is still pushing. What can Binary do? He can't improve 109.5. So it's all down to Squidgy. He's done a 110.4, so he hasn't improved either, and I think that is very much that. So it is Bull Progeny who takes pole position. A fantastic lap. The only man who managed to get into the 108, admittedly by a fraction, but he did get into the 108. It's my former teammate Neil second, and Nuthead taking the final of the top 3 spots. And it's Pez and Jolly, the two main championship contenders. I'm only saying main because Binary and Chris are still very much in a shout if things don't go Pez and Jolly's way. But they're only 4th and 5th. Now, what happened to those two? I was expecting a little bit more. I was expecting them to really be pushing up top. But no, Progeny has got the pole position, which is so crucial at this track. This is the track where qualifying is of utmost importance. Progeny, I don't know if Progeny's on a pad. I can't remember. It was a great lap by Progeny. I can't remember. Let me just have a look and see if it says. I don't know if it does say what they're on. No, it doesn't. So I might have to ask. I'll ask Progeny in the chat. Just giving him an ask. Okay. So, I don't know when we're going to start. I don't know if they'll give me an accurate time or not. But we will run down the full grid order just before we start. So it is Bull Progeny taking the all-important pole position at Monaco with my teammate, former teammate I should say, Niels, in second place in the Red Bull. Nuthead sits third, a great qualifying result for him. And then it's the two championship rivals, Pez and Jolly, 4th and 5th. And Binary right behind them as well. He's not out of the championship either. So he'll be interested to see if the two drivers ahead of him make any mistakes. Fury and Optic, they've been very close to each other. Fury just getting the the nod on this time. 7th and 8th for them. Chris, another championship contender possible, but he's going to have a tough race from 9th on the grid. 6.5 creeped into the top 10. It may not be the best thing for him though, because he's outside of the free tyre choice area, and Cam is the highest position that's going to get free tyre choice, starting in 11th. Stracker starts 12th. BXTN90 13th. Squidgy Genie 3 14th. Then it's Scott's Metroid. Difficult qualifying for him. He starts 15th, but anything can still happen at Monaco, so you never know. Matt 45 16th, and it is Bennett 34. Didn't set a lap time. I think there may have been some issues, so I do apologise if I did accuse him of anything. If there were any connection issues, I do apologise. But he will be starting this race from the back of the grid in 17th place. Okay. So now we just wait to see when the action begins. Now you can see that the Monaco track is now fully under dusk, under the cover of darkness. So it's going to be a proper night race for you all. It's something we've, it's a tradition that we've started. I think this is only the second time we've got around to doing it, but we've basically made a tradition that every time we do a random track calendar, the Monaco Grand Prix will be a night race. When it's an official calendar, it will be the dry race, daytime race. It's still a dry race, even if it is night. I don't know where that came from. Now, I don't know if there's any threat of rain or not. I haven't been told anything yet. Until I'm told, I'm going to assume there is no rain. Let's see. And yes, Prodigy is on a pad, so he's completely disproved what I was saying. I was saying that pad users would struggle here at Monaco, but it seems that that superstition is no longer viable. Apparently, pad users can still be quick here, as Prodigy has proven. He is on a pad. Chris saying that he's not racing for a week's left him not feeling quite right, and yeah, I'd have to say I think he will be disappointed with his qualifying. I think he would have expected to at least have been fast on the 2 racing points, but sadly it has not turned out that way. Those two been very solid and consistent from what I've been seeing so far. They're starting 7th and 8th place, and again, you never know with Monaco. Anything could happen. There could be a crash up ahead. I think anyone could be on the podium in this race. It really does depend on what happens, who gets the right strategy calls, and yeah. I do remember there was some sort of what's the word I'm thinking of? Raffle going that usually goes around saying like, oh, how many front wings are going to be lost here? But I don't think it's happening this year. But anyway, we are just about ready to get going. Everyone's readying up. So the Monaco Grand Prix will be underway very, very shortly. So I'm just taking a drink. So we are underway on the formation lap. Bull Prodigy leads them away. Now, did Bennett get back into the... I don't think Bennett got back in, sadly. So by the looks of it, he hasn't made the race, which is a shame. I'm sorry about that, Bennett. He was having internet issues, so it means we only have 16 cars on the grid instead. So instead of Bennett, it will be Matt 45 that's propping up the back of the grid. But we never know. He could have a good race. We'll have to see how it unfolds. Pad is mainly bad for tyre temps on the softs, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that one plays out then. What is the best thing about Switzerland, Phantom Wizard? And hello, Leclerc. I think you've just turned in at the right time. If you want to jump in the party with me, Leclerc, do feel free. I don't mind. I've left the party open for anyone to join in, including those that crash, as long as not too many come in. But for now, I will run the ship on my own. Obviously, Big Will was supposed to be here with me, but sadly, personal issues has kept him away for the evening. But he should be back next week, so your usual broadcasting should be back to normal next weekend. So let's have a look, quick look at what the tyres are that everyone's on. So everyone in the top 10's on softs, obviously. Cam, Stracker, and BX on the mediums. Scott's Metroid and Matt 45 mediums as well. Now Squidgy Genie, this is an interesting call. He's put the hard tyres on. So that's a very interesting call by 14th place Squidgy. This is a friggin' terrible camera angle. That's even worse. That's not much better. Are we going to get a decent camera angle from anyone? I mean, I suppose, but it needs to be from the front though. But anyway, let's have a look then. So we are about to get underway. We have a yellow X-ray, 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And it is go, 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 underway at Monaco. I cannot see a single thing in the map. There we go. Progeny has got away well, as has Niels, as has Nuthead, Johnny and Pez. Oh, Barnaby's taking a fight to Pez with Fury right behind as well. Chris has made a position as well. He's jumped Optic off the start. 6.5 has lost gained a position back to Cam, but Cam is fighting with... Oh, they're side by side. Cam has taken the position, has he? No, they're still side by side. And Jacob, I think, has taken the position back, but they're still going side by side. But I think Jacob has finally got the position. Oh, did he knock himself? I think he got away with that. Oh, Cam's just gone over the bump as well. Yellow flag in second 2. I think that's just everyone going very slowly. Oh, that was an interesting start by those two, that's for certain. But I think it's all going to settle down now. Progeny has retained the lead. Behind them, has anyone had a bad start? I'm just having a look. Squidgy Genie looks okay on the hards, but he has got Scott's Metroid right up his proverbial backside, with Matt 45 still bringing up the rear. So there hasn't... I don't think there's been any serious position changes. So Jolly's made a position on Pez, and Chris has made a position on Optic. They're the only position changes so far. But anyway, let's get off this camera angle. We should actually be watching what's going on. I apologise for that. Anyway, back to what we've got. So Progeny is leading with Niels in second, Nuthead right behind in third. We'll put the interval gap on, not the leader gap on. So it's all looking pretty close at the moment. Jolly is right behind Nuthead. So the top 3 now have Jolly to contend with, not Pez, because Pez has lost a position. I didn't actually see where he lost the position to Jolly. It might have been at the start. I didn't quite see. It's a very brave call by Squidgy, as you say, to go on those hards. He doesn't look particularly fast at the moment. In fact, I would say he's holding back Scott's Metroid a lot. He's already 3 seconds off of BX's pace. So we'll have to see what happens as we go. Optic, I think, has dropped. I think he might have tried something on Chris and then dropped back again. So I'm not quite sure what's happened there. But it's still looking fairly close so far. As Chris is now back onto the back of Fury, who's chasing down Binary. I think Fury did have a look at Binary at one point, but had to back out of it. DRS now enabled. Not that that really makes any difference at this track, but we shall see if anyone is brave enough to try a lunge somewhere. Meanwhile, Niels and Nuthead have closed in onto Bull Progeny, and Jolly's actually backed off a little bit. He's about a second off of Nuthead now, so the top 3 are very close. Jolly keeping them in his view. Pez has dropped off a little bit from Jolly. Does he have damage on his... let's have a look at his front wing. It's showing us his rear. He's got Binary all over the back of him. I just need to have a look. I want to see if anyone does have any wing damage. What about Pez? Didn't give me a good enough view there. Yes, look at... Pez has lost his right end plate. So that's why Pez is dropping off Jolly. He's got damage. So he is going to effectively really start holding the people up behind him. So Binary might start getting a bit impatient here. That explains why he's been dropping off. What about Jolly? Does he have any damage on his car? I don't think he does, no. And I presume the top 3 are the same. Just have to keep an eye on things. Oh, meanwhile, Niels has had a look. Bit of pressure on Bull Progeny because of it, but meanwhile Nuthead, seeing an opportunity, not really anywhere for him to make the pass though. So no safety car has been deployed yet. There's not been any serious accident. Everyone is still running, although if you look, they are spreading out a little bit. Like I said, Squidgy Genie is really holding Scott's Metroid up, and Matt 45, I'm just wondering if he's got damage on his Mercedes. Because although he is starting, no, I think he's okay. I think he's just starting to reel in Scott's Metroid and Squidgy Genie. This is, of course, the battle for the wooden spoon. Leclerc's going to join me in 10 minutes max. It'll be good to have you in when you do come in. So yeah, Matt 45 is closing on this battle. But yeah, Squidgy Genie's a bit of a roadblock for Scott's Metroid at the moment. So this isn't really helping any of their races at this point. Meanwhile, got a furious battle going on for... Oh, I tell you what. I think Optic's made a mistake somewhere because he's dropped again. He's now dropped to 10th. 6.5's ahead of him and is up to 9th. So Optic's made a mistake and you can see he's missing an end plate. He's missing his right end plate as well. Meanwhile, Binary... No, it's Pez. Pez is in the pits. So perhaps wanting to get... Perhaps seeing that the wing damage was hurting him too much. He's in the pits. I think there's going to be... Yes, hard tires going on and a wing change happening. So Pez is going to come out. He's going to have a plenty of clear air because Matt 45 has passed him already. But yeah, this is a major blow for Pez. The current championship leader. All the way down to 16th now. This could be a bit of a difficult race for him now. Now down in last. So he's got some work to do, that's for certain. Meanwhile, back up front, Progeny is still being chased down by Niels and Nuthead. They've both dropped. All three of them have pulled away from Jolly. I do know for a fact I don't think this is Jolly's strongest track. I think this is definitely one of his. I know saying Jolly having a weak track is silly. What's the best thing about Switzerland? I don't know what it is, Phantom Wizard. I did say that earlier. So, yeah, these three are remaining close. Jolly's dropped off him. It's now 2 seconds. If anything, Binary is starting to catch him. Now, I think Jolly's a pad user as well, if my memory serves me. Me neither, but the flag is a big plus. Oh my god. Oh my god. Great. That's very good, very good. So Cam has passed Optic now as well and is now chasing 6.5 down for 8th position. Obviously that's because Pez is pitted. So Optic is really struggling with that damage. I think he should really be considering the fact that Pez is pitted as well. I think Optic may want to consider pitting too because the damage is clearly having an impact on his performance. There's now Strackers all over the back of him in the fight for the final points position. And BX is just behind them as well. Keeping your nose clean at Monaco is just as crucial as qualifying. The one mistake and the damage is going to be almost too hard to repair. So, as they go around the chicane, BX is still chasing Optic down hard. Is anyone going to make any kind of move? It's so hard to make an overtaking move at Monaco. I have to admit, unless there's chaos, it isn't always the best race to watch. But the chaos could still come. Well, meanwhile, 5-second time only for Chris, speeding in the pit lane. So the other Alfa Romeo driver is taking the plunge as well. I think there's hards going on him. Does he have damage? No, this isn't damage. This is a strategy call from Chris. Now, is he going to come out? Oh, this is going to be close with his teammate. Reckless Pez is just coming down the final straight. Chris is just coming out of the pits. I think Chris is going to hold on a position. So, this might be a conceited plan from the Alfa Romeo boys with Chris coming out just ahead of Pez. They're both last now, but if they can get some clean lap times in, that could change later on. We'll have to see how their progress, and will there be a change around as well? Will Chris get out of Pez's way or not, or will he stand in his way? Okay. Meanwhile, Jolly's not got the pace at the moment. He's really struggling. Doesn't seem to have damage on the McLaren front wing, so this can only be pace. And Binary, meanwhile, has distanced himself from Fury, so he looks like he's definitely got the pace. And Jolly is in the pits. Is this a reaction to Chris and Pez's pitting as well? Nuthead's in the pits as well. He's come out on hards as well. So this is a strategy call from Nuthead as well. Perhaps seeing that he was getting nowhere, stuck behind Prodigy and Niels. Jolly pits as well. Now where are they going to come out? Oh, this is going to be interesting because here comes Squidgy and Scott's Metroid. This is going to be close. I think Nuthead has jumped them. But Jolly has come out. Oh, this is going to be so close. Oh, Jolly's right in the mix with them now. That is not what Jolly needed. And he's got Scott Metroid right behind him as well. So Jolly's ended up right in a furious battle for 11th place. While Nuthead has managed to get the clear air. Although, that being said, He's now in this battle with BX, Straka and Optic. And meanwhile, Straka's trying to go round the outside of Optic. If there's anyone who can lay claim to passing people at Monaco, it's Straka R11. And he's done it right now. I just got a glimpse of it. Him going around Optic at the chicane. Fantastic move by Straka. And it just goes to show you how much the damage is still affecting Optic. But, ooh, we got a corner cut there, I presume. Or at least a warning through it. Now is Jolly and Squidgy, they're fighting, and Jolly has got past Squidgy Genie. So I think Squidgy... Oh, but Jolly's made a mistake! Oh, that's a rare mistake by the reigning F1 XL champion. I think he's got damage. Yes, he's got more damage on that right-hand end plate. Binary's now in the pits as well, as is Optic. So I think Optic's had enough of his strategy. And there's a front wing change for Binary as well. So clearly he's made an error too. It's all about not making the errors here, guys. You have to understand that. The slightest of errors and you will be knackered. And Binary has dropped down to 50. Optic is now plumb last, but on medium tyres. An interesting strategy call from Optic. Can they go all the way to the end? But he's so far behind anyway. Meanwhile, the top two are now in a battle of their own at the moment. Progeny and Neil, 8 seconds clear of Cam. There's a... Oh, and Squidgy Genie's crashed. Virtual safety car deployed. Squidgy Genie's crashed. Where's he crashed? It was... Oh, the same place Nico Rosberg went into the wall in 2016. Or was it 2014? One of the two. But it was there. So Squidgy Genie's obviously outbraked himself or something. Leclerc has just joined the party. You've come at an absolute opportune time. Because there is a virtual safety car on the track. Oh, dearie me. Oh, hang on. I've just got to change some settings, so give me a second. Just to make sure you are heard. There we go. Leclerc, can you hear me? Right. So we've got some more pit stops going on. Fury's coming to the pits and put on set of mediums, taking advantage of the virtual safety car. That could be a very good call by Fury. We'll have to see how that one progresses. Who else? 6.5 came in the pits, as did Scott's Metroids in the pits as well. Progeny and Niels have pitted under the VSC as well. So now Cam leads the race, but he has yet to pit. So the race is still very much Bull Progeny's to win or lose. Leclerc, can you hear me? I cannot hear you, my friend. Yeah, he went. Yeah, so Rosberg. Yeah, it's the same area though. I get what you're saying though, but yeah. So, but Niels is still putting the pressure on. Straka also is right behind them as well. He is yet to pit as well. He's currently sitting fourth. Let's see if the clerk can hear me now. Hello. Yes, we can hear you this time. Hello.
Ah, I could hear you. You just couldn't hear me. So.
Oh, that's very weird.
Yeah. I thought I'd join now. But I need to run out quickly. So I will literally be 2 minutes.
Okay, mate. I'll see you in a minute. We still got some time left to go anyway, so that's fine. So, meanwhile, Reckless Pez has got past Matt 45. I believe that was at Saint Devot. Now, Pez moved himself up to 8. And so there has been a swap around, I've just noticed as well. Pez has made the swap with Chris. But Chris is now behind Matt 45. So he needs to find a way past if he can. There was another pit stop somewhere down there. I didn't see where it was. Ooh, but Chris has no way past Matt 45 at the moment. So, we are on lap 11 of 39. We're not even anywhere close to... We're not even a third through this race yet. We've still got plenty to go. But at the moment, Cam leads the way, but he has yet to pit on those medium tyres. But another safety car would really put him in the contention for a win. Bull Progeny is effectively the net lead of the race, having taken the virtual safety car to pit. Sits 8 seconds off of Cam, with Neil still hounding him in third. Then we've got Straka. I think Nuthead's made an error somewhere because he's had to pit again and he's now on a set of medium tyres. So there must have been a mistake made by the Ferrari driver. He's down in 14th. It's now BX 5th. Jolly is now 6th. but he's got Fury right on the back of him. And now this could be an interesting battle because we've got BX on worn mediums, Jolly on relatively fresh hards, and Fury on relatively fresh hards. Meanwhile, Chris has managed to squeeze past Matt 45. I think that must have been up towards the hill towards Casino. So Chris has got past Matt 45. I'm sorry, I didn't see that one. It's hard to see who to watch and who not to watch in a moment. Meanwhile, behind them, Binary is now all over the back of Matt 45. He's literally almost touching the rear wing of that Mercedes. As they go through the tunnel towards the heavy braking area. Is Binary going to make for a lunge? No, he's not close enough. But he's got to be careful. He's got 6.5 all over the back of him as well. Now this could... Now, we've got a lot of different strategies going on here. Some haven't pit yet. Some have pit for hard. Some have pit for mediums. It's all going to depend if there's another safety car. But we are officially into the second third of this race. So we've still got a long way to go. Cam is still pushing. He's keeping that gap fairly solid at the moment. That solid 8-second margin. So if he can keep the pace up, he's definitely got a shot here. Because the closest... where would he... If he pit now, I think he'd come out somewhere around Pez and Chris. If he pit now. But they are on hard tyres. But they are setting some quick time at the moment. I didn't see who has the fastest lap. We'll see what pops up next time. My Xbox gamer tag is Lightshot16. It is pretty much the same... Oh no, wait. My gamer tag has changed. I take it back. My gamer tag is now TESLS16 because I'm part of the Typhoon Esports team now. So that is my gamer tag now. So it has changed. So I have to apologise for that. I don't know if I'm going to keep it like that. I'll keep it like that for a while, definitely. If I feel like changing it back, I have no qualms changing it back. So Cam still leads. If anything, he's actually increasing his gap over these two. So there's still some very decent life in those medium tyres, clearly, because he's actually getting away from these two. Only a little bit, but still. Nevertheless, these two are, as long as there's no more safety cars, these two will still be leading the race. Ooh, a bit of lag from Progeny, but still okay. Meanwhile, this battle for 5th is really, really interesting, because BX is still holding up Jolly, with Fury right behind him on a fresher set of mediums. And I think Pez and Chris are catching them both, because I think BX is doing a lot of... it's basically a bit of a cork in the bottle at the moment, but Jolly can't find any way past. Now, does Jolly still have the damage as well? He does. Jolly still has damage. I need to see if does BX have any damage on his Ferrari. Yes, he does. He has it on the left side, though, which is interesting, because Jolly has his damage on the right side. So I wonder how that's affecting the handling. And Fury has got no damage at the moment anyway. So I'm sure there'll be a bit of impatience going on with the Racing Point driver, but he's just got to remain cool. But ooh, is he going to try it? Ooh, he's no Charles Leclerc. Oh, BX has made contact with the wall though, and that's opened up. Is that opened up the room for Jolly to make a move? And meanwhile, Pez is gaining on them. The longer this goes on, the more time it gives the Alfa Romeo, the championship leader and the reigning champion, to catch this battle. Hang on, I'll just type it. Yeah. There you go. Sorry about that. So, we've got still a very furious battle. Meanwhile, though, I'm very impressed with Cam's pace at the moment, because the gap's now up to 9 seconds. Like, the two cars behind him are not making any impression on him, despite him being on a much older set of tyres. Meanwhile, Progeny's made a mistake somewhere. Niels has got past. Niels is now into second place. I didn't see that. I think it must have happened at the chicane. He must have outbraked Progeny, or maybe a mistake from the Toro Rosso driver. But Niels has gone, and by the looks of it, has been released. Niels is suddenly flying away. He's already 1.5 seconds away. Progeny has been a bit of a cork in the bottle for him. Meanwhile, there's a yellow flag in Sector 2. I think it's BX. No, it's Nuthead. I take it back. It's Nuthead. At the chicane, he's lost it there. Does he have damage? I think he must surely have some damage. Yes, he does, on the left side. Oh, he's having... Oh, and he's lost more. Oh, Nuthead. after such a promising qualifying. It's going all to pants for him. Meanwhile, Jolly up the hill has got past BX as well. So Jolly's free of BX's the cork in the bottle. What about BX? And can Fury do anything about it? Because he's got Pez right behind him as well. But Fury still can't find a way past the Ferrari. Yeah, I thought he might have had me. So Nuthead's back in the pits again. Cam still leads, but now look how much of a gap Niels has already taken out of him. Ever since getting past Progeny, Niels has been unleashed. He's now 3 seconds clear of Progeny already, and already within 7 seconds of Cam. It just goes to show you. I did say I think the wheel was a better option on this track. I'm sure Niels is a wheel user. And well, there you go. Qualify, maybe Progeny had the advantage, but not in the race. And BX is pitting. So he pits. We got someone joining, but they can't do anything. It's fine. But now Fury's all over the back of Jolly again. After BX pitting, Fury got past. And it's all over the back of Jolly once more. Is Jolly going for a move? Yes, he is. He's trying to go around the inside. Oh, but Jolly gives him enough room, but not enough room to make the move work. Very ballsy stuff from Fury, though. He's definitely getting impatient behind this McLaren. Now he's just got to try and get a good run on him here. Can he get... Oh, by the looks of it, though, Jolly's got a better run through the tunnel. I don't think Fury's going to be able to make a dive bomb on one here. And no, he won't. Now as they come round here towards the swimming pool, look, Jolly's so much slower. Fury is being held up. There's absolutely no question of doubt, but he needs to find a way past. Is he going to go for Charles Leclerc? Yes, he is. Has he done it? I think he has. He's done it. He's passed. He's pulled a Charles Leclerc on Jolly, and he's up to 5th place. But is Jolly going to respond? No, because Fury has the DRS. And Fury has got past. A fantastic move by Fury. I've got to give him a round of applause for that. Made the Charles Leclerc special work for him. He's now up to 5th place and on a set of mediums. Can they go to the end though? Or will another safety car change his reversal of fortune? Fantastic move by Fury though. I absolutely loved it. But look at the gap now between Niels and Cam. He is eating into Cam's lead. And Niels suddenly looks like a very strong contender for the race win. Because Cam's lead has been almost cut in half. In fact, it pretty much has been now. While Bull Progeny is still... is completely dropped off Niels' pace. Squidgy leads the session. Fastest lap goes to Xbox Nuthead down in 15th place. 1:11.7. So... oh my god, we're just about halfway there now. And we're not living on a prayer just yet because we still have plenty of action. But Nuthead has gone! Nuthead has crashed. I think it's a casino. And there is a safety car. This will transform the race entirely now. So it was at casino. Nuthead has crashed. There is a safety car deployed. And look, we've already got Jolly, Fury, Pez, Chris. Chris is even going to have to double stack behind his teammate. Binary's in behind him as well. Now, curiously, Jacob hasn't pit. He's come out at 5th place. That's an interesting call by Jacob. 6.5. So it's another set of mediums for Fury, mediums for Jolly, and a repaired front wing. Same for Pez, I believe. Binary pits. Chris has really lost out because he's had to wait for his teammate to get the pit stop. And he had a 5-second penalty as well. That has not worked out for the Alfa Romeo driver. But, well, we'll have to see how that goes. BX has already pitted a couple of laps ago. He's on the set of hards now. Now, what about the top guys? Is anyone going to pit up front? Surely Cam's going to take advantage of this. But what can he go on?
I do apologise.
Fuck off. Sorry, I just have to shut my window. Hello, sorry, I just had to shut my window because I heard someone yelling at me. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we just had a safety car. because of Nuthead crashing at Casino.
Oh, Nuthead.
Yes. So that's
He's in
allowed.
good position as well, wasn't he?
He wasn't. He was down in 15th. He's had a bit of a nightmare, so he was down in 15th anyway. But it has allowed basically Progeny. Niels got past Progeny at the at one point, and then all of a sudden he absolutely roared away.
Striker side by side. Fury. Is that legal? Did we get him legally there?
I don't know. Was
I'd
Stracker
imagine
out?
so.
I'm not sure.
They were side by side at pit exit.
Yeah.
To me, it looked like Stracker was slightly ahead.
Yeah, possibly.
Stracker on the hards now. He started on mediums, didn't he? So.
Yes, so he's going to be going. So I think everyone's going to be trying to go to the end from here. I think they'll be able to do it fairly easily.
Oh,
But
yeah, easily.
it'd be interesting to see. Niels has elected not to pit. Yeah.
That's, although he has made his stop, so maybe he's just.
So he's going to hope for track position, but he's now got Cam, who's
Yeah.
been able to take advantage of the safety car to pit for a fresh set of hards, because he hadn't made his pit stop yet. Because he was, I think he had planned to, yeah, so he went from medium, no, he's on hards now. He was on mediums. He started 11th, so he got the free tyre choice. Progeny has taken advantage to go onto a fresh set of mediums, but honestly, when Niels got past Progeny, he absolutely roared away from him. Like, the gap was nearly 5 seconds by the time the safety car came out. So I'll be interested to see if Niels can still maintain that pace, even though everyone around him has pitted. Jacob hasn't pitted, but he's on an old set of mediums, which I think they're going to struggle to get to the end. But Fury, meanwhile, has made my absolute move of the race. He pulled a Charles Leclerc Rascas on Jolly.
Oh, and that is not an easy feat.
No,
I mean,
it was an absolute fantastic move, and fair play, he got it, he made it stick. So, for those of you saying overtaking is impossible at Monaco, Fury and Stracker, I've seen him do one as well, very much proving you all wrong. But yes, we've had a lot of pit stops as well.
It does feel good when you can get that overtake done at Monaco. It's just
Yeah.
so much more satisfying than anywhere
Yeah.
else.
So as the safety car came out, everyone came in. Chris sadly had to double stack behind Pez, so he's lost out a bit of time because of that. He was ahead of Binary before the pit stop, but now he's behind him and BX, who I think pitted a couple laps before the safety car, so he's on a slightly older set of hards. It shouldn't affect him too badly, but these guys on mediums I think are going to have a good advantage here, because I think they'll definitely get to the end from here. And they'll definitely be the faster tyre as well.
You're speaking to a guy who adores this track. So,
well, give it to us straight.
I can vouch for them. They can definitely do it.
Fair enough then.
Pad users may struggle a little bit more. But,
Yeah.
The way these guys
Well,
have their tyres.
Well, we've seen a difference. We've seen the difference in the pad user, because I think Progeny is a pad user, Niels is a wheel user, and
No. Progeny is a wheel user.
no, he told me he was on pad. He told me he was on pad in the chat, so either he was lying,
I
or
thought he had Kian's old wheel.
maybe Kian wanted it back, or maybe he gave it to Pushkar, I don't know. But he told me in the XFR chat that he was on a pad. So,
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, either or.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Scotch Metroid's in the pits again.
Yeah, I think he's electing to pit and put a slightly older set of mediums on for some reason. He's had a very, very difficult race, Scott's Metroid. It's a first race in Red Bull and you get Monaco. It's not really I wouldn't wish that on anyone, to be honest. So Nuthead leaves, understandably so.
But the Red Bull's usually good around here, but it's not about the cars in the league, it's about the driver.
It is not, but Niels is proving your point even so. But he is on 10 laps older hards than Cam, but he has the track position, which is so crucial at Monaco. So it'll be interesting to see if Cam and Bull Project on a fresh set of mediums.
In this lap,
Yes,
are off.
the safety car is coming in.
I'll let you focus on the top 7, and I'll go down from Pez down.
Okay, then that sounds like a plan to me. We're just over halfway through. We've still got a lot of action to come. The safety car is in the pits. Niels is now the effective safety car holding them back, but he's gone. 5-second penalty for Optic, collision with Matt 45, so he's obviously hit his back. We are underway again though. Niels leads them away. Cam hot on his heels with Progeny right behind him as well. Jacob has not really got a good launch off there. Fury's all over the back of him for the battle for 4th. Meanwhile, Stracker has got Jolly, and Jolly's having a look up the inside, but I don't think there's anything he can do. Nothing he can do there, so Stracker maintains 6th position, but Fury is still all over the back of Jacob. These two are friends in real life, but I don't think there's going to be any friendships here. Jacob wants this position. Well, I think Jacob's going to really struggle to get these 13-lap-old mediums to the end. They might get there, but, well, can they get there?
With the bare minimum of grip left.
The bare minimum. Okay.
But, yeah, I'm going for... He's going to have to make another stop, as we have Chris right on the back of BXTN 90.
He is.
Down towards the Nivelle chicane.
Nothing. Yeah, can't do anything about it. I think Jacob might be 6.5 might be expecting another safety car. That's the only thing I can assume, because if there is another safety car,
it's Monaco and it's at night time.
Yeah, it's very likely. And it
can
could...
I just say to all the viewers, this would be such a spectacle in real life. Monaco under the lights.
Oh my god, it would be, wouldn't it? It would be so good. I would love it.
Incredible. Optic is all over the back of Matt 45. Of course, same lap, old tyres, but Optic on the softer compound.
Meanwhile, we've got a furious battle for 6th still going on. Jolly and Pez, the 2 championship contenders. Meanwhile, side by side with Chris and BX. Chris has got past. So Chris has passed BX.
They went through side by side. I can't believe I'm about to say this, at Casino.
Whew. Wow, that was... Well, that takes a lot of respect and bravery from the two of them, and, well, they do have plenty of that between them. So, fair play to Chris and BX. I'm sorry I missed that one. I apologise. But I did catch Chris getting ahead.
But Chris is now catching Binary. So, this could be a battle to watch out for, and he's...
Yeah, meanwhile, Binary is just... I think Binary's just biding his time, waiting to see if anything happens ahead between Pez, John and Stracker. Like I said, those 3 are sort of the main championship contenders. Chris is still within a shout as well, but I would say these 3, Jolly, Pez and Binary, are the main championship contenders. DRS is now enabled. Chris is still within a shout as well, but... Oh, and Jolly's still hounding the back of that Mercedes of Stracker R11, who has pitted for a fresh set of hards. So he is on a fresh set, but he's on the slower tyre, so he's going to have a bit of a hard time keeping this McLaren behind him, unless Jolly gets damaged, because we have seen he has got damaged before, and then his pace is completely dropped if it happens. Avoiding damage is so crucial here.
Stracker is holding up Jolly.
Meanwhile,
Binary, Chris, and BX.
Oh, I've just had a look at Fury's wing. He doesn't have either end plate on his wing. He's going to be in trouble, I think. Meanwhile, Jolly's having a look on the outside as they go down the chicane. Oh, he's made it stick as well. What a move by Jolly. Fantastic stuff. And Pez unable to get past. Oh, but big slide by Stracker. He held it well by Stracker.
Has he got damage?
No.
He's got away with murder there.
He has got away with literal murder. So Jolly has now been unleashed, and now the tables have turned. It was Fury hounding Jolly. Now it's Jolly hounding Fury, who has damage to both sides of his front wing. As mentioned, he's dropped off of Jacob, 6.5. I don't know why I keep saying Jacob. I should just call him by his
I know
name.
him by name.
Yeah, so do I. That's the problem.
Look at the McLaren all over the back of that racing point.
No point. He's got a few points. I said I think he's on like 15 points, so he has got a few.
I was going to say no point racing, because it's racing point, but...
Oh, I thought you meant as in no points for Fury.
We'll just go for tracing point.
Okay, fair enough.
I think it's something to do with me, to be fair, because ever since I retired from XFR, Fury's started scoring points.
Yeah. Meanwhile, is Jolly going to try again? No. Fury sees it coming and holds his line. So I think Fury may well have seen that move that happened on Stracker, or at least have heard of what happened. and is well aware of what Jolly might try. Meanwhile, Pez is all over the back of Stracker as well, with Binary right behind them, and Chris is on the back of Binary as well. A tight battle for 7th place going on behind. And the championship leader and reigning champion, Reckless Pez, needs to find a way past his Mercedes.
Is he going to make a move?
Into Zandervot, no! Fury holds his inside line.
Oh, switchback maybe.
Maybe the switchback. Is he going to try up the hill?
Making them racing point mirrors.
Oh, there's a yellow flag in sector 1. Safety car deployed. What's happened?
Where is that?
It's Optic. What's happened?
Optic is out.
Sandervot.
Sandervot.
He was racing Map 45, wasn't he? So that'll be where that's happened. Now this is going to be interesting. Is anyone going to brave a pit stop now? The Sauce will definitely make it, but you're going to lose track position. That's the crucial thing. Anyone that's got damage, I think, will definitely. I think Fury almost certainly has to. This is going to be very, very interesting.
I've been watching Fury for about a lap and a half, and he doesn't seem to. It doesn't look like he's struggling that badly. But because it's Monaco, maybe that's why Jolly isn't risking anything. Say this was Monza.
Okay, so Neil stays out. Cam does as well, as does Progeny. What about Jacob? He's staying out as well.
Hit the wall.
He's hit the wall?
Cam has taken big damage on that left side.
Oh no! Typical that you take the damage when you're cooling off from a safety
Fury
car.
has pitted.
That's understandable.
So
as BX, yes, he has.
Soft tyres going on the Ferrari.
Scott Metroid pits as well. Soft tyres, I presume for
Old mediums.
Old mediums for Fury. That's an interesting call, but it is softs for BX, softs for Scott Metroid as well.
He has lost out to BX as well.
I wonder if Fury didn't have any softs left. I don't think he's used any this race, so he must have had some relatively decent soft tyres. No, that's strange. I don't know why he's gone to a set of mediums there. But
BX will have the pace, but having the pace is
one thing. Getting past
the driver.
Yeah. Completely different story. So Neil still leads, but he is on 18 lap old tyres. But crucially, Cam wasn't really putting him under serious pressure, and now with his damage, I think he's going to be more looking in his rear view mirror than his front.
Absolutely.
Good, especially with Bull Progeny.
The rest of the grid.
Bull Progeny will be
any other damage.
Yeah. While you do that, I'm going to take this time to have a look at the penalty situation. While we're on a safety car, Nils doesn't have any. Cam has 1 penalty, so 3 seconds.
Progeny has 1 as well.
He does too. So Nils is in a very good position. Jacob doesn't have a penalty. Jolly has 1. Stracker doesn't have 1, but he's on 2 warnings. Pez doesn't have a penalty, 1, 2 warnings. Binary doesn't even have a single. No, he has 1 warning. I take that back. Chris has served his 5-second penalty, so he doesn't have to worry about that. But he's on 2 warnings. Map 45 doesn't have a penalty. So at the moment, 6.5 is in a good position here. If he can hang on to the back of these two, he could be a surprise. Stay cool, because the 2 ahead and the 1 driver behind you have penalties. So 6.5 has a chance of a podium here if the tyres can last. But the safety car will definitely help them last now. But it's just a case of, can he hold the mighty F1 XL champion off? I mean, this would be an absolute David against Goliath story if Jacob could hold Jolly at bay.
Broke records last season in F1 XL.
Exactly. Won it by race 14 and then basically handicapped himself for the rest of the season just to give himself a challenge.
Yeah.
Whereas Jacob has this is Jacob. I think this is Jacob's first race in a while. I haven't seen him on the grid for a few races, so it is good to see him back. Safety car's in this lap.
Coming in.
So Niels will have become the effective safety car. I don't think there's any damage to that Red Bull, but Cam is the one we need to keep an eye on, I think, because he's got damage on the left side of that Haas. So how much of a cork in the bottle will he be for the cars behind him? And Bull Progeny will be desperate for a good result after such an impressive qualifying. He was the only man to eke into the 108. We're underway again. Niels does lead them away. Cam, ooh, I think he's going to hold the position for now. Jacob has not got a good restart. He's got Jolly all over the back of him. Strack has not had a good restart either. And look at Jolly. Ooh, had to think about it, but no room. Jacob holds his line. Meanwhile, just as I suspected, Cam is holding Progeny up because of the damage. As Niels is starting to eke away.
Close.
It is very, very close already. Jacob and Jolly so close as well. Meanwhile, there's a battle for sixth going on between Stracker and Pez as well. Binary in that mix as well, but he's got Chris all over the back of him. Matt 45 on a set of old hards. BX on those fast soft tyres is already very, very challenging for Matt 45 for that final point. Fury in 12 and Scott's Metroid 13. I think we've done very well because we've only lost 3 drivers. Bennett sadly did not even make the start because of internet issues. So we've only lost 3 drivers. So I think that's a fairly decent.
Not bad for Monaco.
That's a fairly really decent record. And it goes to show you these are some of the best drivers. What's going on? Ooh, bit of lag from Progeny.
Fury nearly hitting the back of BX, and what's Matt gonna do here? Is he just gonna let BX go, or is he gonna become a silver robot? 3 second time
for Sinful Chris. Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
He was on 2 warnings. He's now got that final warning for the 3 second time penalty. Meanwhile, Jolly still can't find a way past 6.5, and Progeny still hasn't found a way past Cam, and this is all helping Niels just eke away just that little bit. Even on 21 lap old hards, he is pulling away from the damaged Haas, and there's nothing Progeny can do about it at the moment because that Haas looks like it's very, very slippery even with that damage.
It does. I mean,
look at Pez and Tracker! Pez and Stracker! Oh, Pez had a look down the inside, but couldn't make it stick. Stracker holds on to 6.
Hards versus 12 lap old mediums. Pez on the mediums.
The safety cars will have helped him, though. I don't think his tyres will be as worn as the laps might suggest. Meanwhile, Cam is still Cam is a serious cork in the bottle right now. Progeny is still over the back of him. 6.5 is still doing a fantastic job. And Pez has got past Stracker as he... Oh, it through Sander Vort. Pez is into 6th place. And look at Binary. And Binary's through as well. Up the hill towards Casino. He's got through. Matt 45 and BX, I think there's been a tangle between Matt and BX. They've both dropped behind Fury and Scott's Metroid. Oh, and Matt 45 just brake checked him now, I think. I have no idea. I get the feeling tempers might be flaring. I don't want to hesitate what's going on.
Mercedes got damage.
Yes. No. I don't know.
Left end plate?
Maybe. The Ferrari definitely.
At night time.
No! Oh! Meanwhile, Cam very nearly put in the wall. Progeny right behind him. But he holds the position for now. But this is still all just helping my former teammate Niels. And it's looking like a almost certain victory for the Red Bull driver. Which as unbiased as I try to remain. Oh, no, he's not. As I was saying, as unbiased as I do try to remain, I am very happy to see my former teammate looking in such a good position to take the win. 6.5 though is still keeping Jolly at bay, and he's actually caught to the back of Progeny because of Cam's stout defence. I think this is... He is literally a cork. It's a proverbial cork in the bottle, and Cam is that very, very stubborn cork as he is still keeping ahead of Progeny as they go through the tunnel. Progeny surely not close enough. What about Jolly though? Is Jolly going to think of a move here? Yes, he is. He goes down the inside. Careful! He's done it. Fantastic stuff from Jolly. Remember, he has a penalty, so he needs to get past them. Yes, exactly. Jacob doesn't need to...
23 lap old tyres, but
I know, it's easier said than done.
It's doable.
Absolutely, but he's got to think about the reigning champion. From one champion, now Jacob's got another champion on his backside. And this time it's Reckless Pez. He's going down the inside of Sander Vogt. Yes, he is.
No!
Oh, a Pez! Oh, a big wobble for Pez.
That is big damage.
And it is big damage. It was an optimistic move by Pez. Jacob did nothing wrong in my humble opinion. He kept to his line. I think that was just a little bit of an over-eagerness from Pez to get on the throttle. And now, absolute racing incident. I think Pez hopefully will see the same thing. But now it's crucial crunch time. Because Jolly needs to get past. It's so close. And look at Bull Prodigy, as close as he's ever been. Is he going down the inside? He's thought about it. Whoa!
Oh, his car's jumped.
His car's literally gone right into the air. Yeah, I'm glad I caught that.
When I joined the party earlier, there was a Toro Rosso in the pit lane in the air. I was like, what?
I know.
Oh, I don't know what's happening. This game does make me laugh sometimes.
It really does. But Progeny has survived his little aerial onslaught. Meanwhile, Pez, despite the damage, is still hanging on to the back of Jacob. But I don't think he's going to be able to make a similar optimistic dive bomb down Sander Vogt. I think Jacob's going to be well up. But 6.5, 3-second time penalty at the most inopportune time to get it. That could be so costly. He could have been... he could have been second place. Meanwhile, Progeny's going down the inside of... Oh, but he's hit the wall. He went down the inside. Couldn't find a way past. Oh! And there's a bit of lag between them. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'm seeing that. Whoa! What the hell?
This is lag. This is not good.
This is lag central from Bull Progeny, which is not what you want to see around Monaco.
Lag's bad enough anywhere, but
at Monaco. Yeah, exactly. So with Jacob's penalty, it now looks as though I think Pez. Oh, Oh, what a move!
He went down the inside.
What a move by Progeny! And he's moved himself up to second. Now he needs to get away and get away fast. Because remember, the 3-second time penalties, I think everyone bar Niels, Pez and Binary. And Jolly's gone through as well. Cam, I think that damage is really starting to hamper Cam's pace. And now Jacob's... Now it's Jacob's turn. Is he going to be able to find a way past the Haas? Yes, he is. Is he letting people pass?
And Pez is squeezing through.
Amazing. I'm wondering, is Cam basically... I'm not sure what Cam's doing there. Was that him letting him pass? Just not being able to take the right line? That's really interesting.
Has he got left and right end plate damage?
He does, yes. That must be it then. He must be having so many steering issues. Bull Progeny. What the hell? How is he down 11th? He's completely... What the hell has just happened? You are seeing the same thing I'm seeing, right?
I am. He's just coming to the Nouvelle Chicane now.
But he was
Jolly is now
second.
P2.
Pez
What? 3-second time penalty.
So he's got one now as well. So Jacob could still be on for the podium here, depending on what the gap. Meanwhile, Cam's in the pit, so having to repair some damage. 3. Yellow flag sector 3. I'm not sure what's happened there. Fury's in the pits as well. I think people are going for fastest lap time now, I think, here.
Yeah, Fury has stuck the softs on, then Max back into P10.
So Jolly has...
I don't know if this will be the final finishing positions, because...
It's going to be very close. It's going to come down to penalties no matter what. I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm still baffled. What on earth happened to Progeny? He was second. And all of a sudden he teleported back to... Damage. He teleported back to 10th.
Maybe? He is lagging a lot. Oh!
Possibly.
I don't know.
I don't know.
He slammed into a wall.
Well,
got damage, and it's fine.
Either way, Jolly has been released, but surely there's nowhere near enough time for him to catch Niels by now. He's got a 11.5 second gap to the race leader, who is coming onto his penultimate lap through St. Sendavot. He goes up the hill.
No one's going to get the fastest lap because Nuthead has it on a 111.7.
Yeah, we have a 3 second time penalty for Cam, who's on a fresh set of mediums and chasing BX for 11th now. Oh, I'm stunned by what's been happening in the last few minutes. Meanwhile, Pez is still chasing 6.5, while Binary is starting to catch them both. Binary could be in a good position here, because I don't think Binary has a penalty.
Binary, I'll check now. I'm sure Binary doesn't.
That being said, Jolly, I think, is securing his second place, because he's got the 3 second gap nearly done.
Binary has 2 warnings.
So I think Binary's not going to take any silly risks here then, because he knows he will get the jump on both of these guys. Jolly, I think, is safe in second now as long as he doesn't get another penalty, because he's got the gap up to 3.1. So it's all going to come down to the penalty situation for the final podium position.
Chris has damage again, left end plate.
He does, yes. I've just spotted that myself. And Straka, despite being on hard tyres, is starting to catch him.
And left end plate damage as well.
Yeah, Scott's Metroid
is 8th.
I mean, he was literally nowhere in this race. Well, there's another yellow flag sector 2. I think that's Cam. And just by continuing going, still keeping his nose clean, he's on for his... He's going to get some points in his first race for Red Bull here. I think, yeah, that should be applauded if he does it. Meanwhile, Fury, oh my God, there's been contact between BX and Fury, and Cam's joined them. It's literally been an absolute clusterfuck at the final corner, and Cam didn't stop for some reason and just hit both of them. What is this? Oh, is this racing or ping pong, lads? Honestly.
Quite literally, but coming into Raskas now is going to be your race winner.
Yes, he is. I'm sorry, with everything going on, I was not paying attention, but Niels comes around the final corner, and it is going to be a dominant victory for Niels 998, my former teammate. He does Red Bull proud. Well done, Niels. Coming around the final corner now is the second place driver. Surely it is Jolly, but who is going to take the final podium position? Jacob crosses the line third. But Binary snatches it from both of them. And Jacob drops to 4th. Pez drops to 5th. Now, what about 6th place? Straka holds on to 6th. Chris is 7th. And Scott's Metroid does finish in the points in 8th position. Meanwhile, Matt 45 holding off Bull Progeny. I still have no idea what happened to the Irish driver, but I think it's going to end that way. Yes, Matt 45 finishes 9th. Bull Progeny finishes 10th. So there we have your points finishes. We still have Cam, Fury and BX finishing after a bit of a clusterfuck at the end. I think there's no other word for it. Wow, what?
I'm still staggered what happened to Progeny.
I have... Yeah, he must be absolutely fuming. Yeah, I've no idea. But here is our race result. It is Niels taking the win with Jolly second and Binary third on the Monaco podium. But yeah, Progeny, by all rights, I think Progeny should have been second. I'm still very, 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 very confused.
Yeah, I can't work that one out for the life of me.
No.
But from the race I saw, I've seen pretty much all of it because I tuned into the stream and then ended up joining.
Yep.
Rather entertaining race, if I may say so myself.
Very entertaining race with a lot of different strategies, mistakes, actions, but we do have Niels 998 taking the victory with Jolly second and Binary, just by keeping his nose clean and not getting any penalties, snatching third off of 6.5, who had a fantastic race all the same. Fantastic stuff, Jacob. And the current reigning champion Pez, he has lost some points to Jolly, but only 8 points, so he will still retain the championship lead by, I believe, about 16 points. With Straka 6th, Chris 7th, Scott's Metroid, fantastic result, just finishing that Grand Prix, coming home in 8th. Same for Matt 45, coming home 9th. And Bull Progeny, bizarrely, vanishing from the race somehow, but coming home still in 10th. But it should have been a lot more than that. I think everyone would agree with that.
Yeah, well, he was second, and then a second later he was 11th. I'm actually baffled by that. I've never seen that. Like, I've seen lag spikes, but that must have been huge.
Yeah, that must have been one of the biggest lag spikes I've ever seen. It was, well, I think there's a lot of people calling on questionable driving and just the whole race being a shit show for some of them. From a commentator's point of view, that the chaos definitely led to opportunity, and I think my driver of the day has to go to 6.5, holding off reigning champions in XL and XFR and Jolly and Reckless Pez, holding them off so valiantly. I think Jacob definitely gets my driver of the day vote. No offense to Niels, you still did a fantastic job as well, buddy, but Jacob has to get the nod.
Between Niels and 6.5, but I think I'm going to have to go with you on this one, Mark. It's got to be 6.5. Holding Jolly off that long. I do want to shout Jolly out for 2 overtakes in the same place.
I do want to shout out Fury's overtake on Jolly at Rascasse. I know you didn't see it, Leclerc. You will have to go watch it back. But it was a bold, very decently executed overtake by Fury. It's just a shame he didn't really get any reward for it, because he could have had a good result if things had gone his way later on in the race. But never mind. Never mind, Fury. Just chin up. Keep going.
This is racing.
Sadly so.
It happens. But I'd just like to say, that's 2 Monaco Grand Prix in league racing this season that have been really, really good to watch.
Yeah. It's just... Monaco just seems to always make at least an entertaining spectacle, even if it's not the best time for some of the drivers, but it's always an entertaining race to watch, definitely.
The concentration levels are so high.
Absolutely, yes.
You cannot lose focus for a split second.
No, not at all. Anyway, I think we will end the stream there, though. Thank you very much for joining me, Leclerc, and subbing for Big Will.
Right. Thank you for letting me join.
No problem. Next week, hopefully, Big will be back. I will still be in the commentator seats with him. Next week, we are going overseas to Japan, and that's usually that usually comes up with some good races. Usually wet. Usually a very stiff test for the drivers. I mean, Monaco is as well, but when it comes to pure racetracks, Suzuka's about as tough as they come.
Suzuka is one of the toughest. But speaking of tough tracks, tomorrow night in SFR,
getting your plug in.
Oh, well, I've got to, mate. Of course I've got to get my plug in.
I don't blame you.
At Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps.
Yes, will be there in the commentator boxes tomorrow as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that one as well. Spa is my favourite track on the F1 calendar, so I'm expecting a good race.
A little bit more. The title race is looking
very close.
4 races in to our new season, but there's about 6 drivers that look like they can win it. So
Indeed. It's looking very, very tasty in that league. But yes, I do hope you do tune in tomorrow at the Supreme Formula Racing channel to that race. But for now, I'm going to end this stream here for XFR. Next week we will be at Japan, as I said, and it will be me and Big Will hopefully again next week. Thank you very much to the club once again for joining, and thank you all for watching. And yeah, I will see you next weekend for the Japanese Grand Prix.